what is it? Automatic 5 seconds, Rob.
Both?
Don't talk until the first 5 seconds of your face.
To my right side.
This is the quiet game. Oh, wait, what? What the? Wow, Robert, that's not what I meant. You guys are gonna magically appear in a couple seconds. I don't know what happens here.
Coolio.
Wow. Was it that one button I wasn't supposed to press? The hard reset button. Why is this not working? Here, you go. Pour some Sprites in your cups now so it doesn't look like you're pouring them in later.
Can I get...
Like mid conversation.
Yeah, it's just be like, oh yeah, it's don't mind me. They'll just be like, wow, this guy just keeps pouring shots, and you're like, no, I'm trying to balance up the drink. It's too much.
Should we just pour some of this in there?
Yeah, just go at it. Be like, bam. That's weird. Should burn out.
Okay, for some reason, you also?
Yes, sir.
It is not.
What? He's worst, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I should never need more space.
Oh, sorry. See, if Robert's having a hard time, you know, I'm damn sure I would be having a hard time.
Yeah, I know. It didn't like wasn't working with the frame.
What's that?
It just wasn't working with the frame. It wasn't your fault. It was the computer.
Oh, it just hates me. I know.
Okay, I'm turning your audio back on, and then I'm gonna put you guys on the floor. And there you go. You guys can talk.
And Mike.
Good, Mike. Good, Mike. I'm Mike. How you doing?
Yeah, good, Austin. I mean, Mike, yeah. I know it's a long day, but Mike, thank you for joining us.
Good to be here.
Mike is a friend of our show.
Mm-hmm.
We know him through Tron Jones, who you can catch here on the Free Admission channel after.
Stay tuned.
But now that you're here, Mike, you're now a friend of the show, straight up.
Cool.
So we all know why we're here, wrestling. So give us a little background, how you got into wrestling, what you like about wrestling now, what you don't like.
So when I was about 5, 6, my cousin was a wrestling fan, and he always would want to wrestle me. He was like, "Oh, let me be Hulk Hogan, and you be Bad News Brown," and
yeah,
we would just wrestle. So eventually, I got into it, and I've been a fan ever since. So pretty experienced good times in wrestling, and some good TV product, and some bad TV product.
Yeah.
Lately.
Lately, yes, of course. So you said, were you ever did you have any brothers and sisters you were doing moves on?
Yes. I had a sister that I'm 10 years older than, so when she was about 3 and I was like 13, I would always powerbomb her on the bed.
Yeah.
And she would ask for more. Like, you see stories on the news of like children getting hurt because their siblings did like a piece of bomb on them.
You were the poster children for
I kind of started that, but she never complained, so I continued to just powerbomb her, and
it just means you were doing it right.
I was doing it right.
Yeah.
I never practiced, but I was home trained, and
yeah,
she's good.
Yeah, that was me. I was doing AA to my sister. I was a John Cena guy when I first started watching.
That's simple, though.
Yeah, simple.
When you powerbomb someone, that's when you
well, me and my sister are a little closer in age, so,
okay.
Me being like, 8-year-old kid ain't going to powerbomb, we're almost same height, same weight.
Okay. But she was fine with it, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I just made her never tell her parents if she wasn't fine with it.
Okay.
Maybe a botch, like Lance over here, a botch pile driver, but.
Well,
that's true. I teach them young. I have a younger brother and a younger sister, and that's the only move I ever wanted to do, because I thought it was really cool. You put them right between your head, you lift them up, you jump in the air, and you just fucking sit. You know what I mean? I've always wanted to perfect it, but I just couldn't do it, But to this day, they're scared of that pile driver maneuver.
Well, the move that's now being popularized is the RKO.
Yep.
Yes.
That's I wish I would have known that back then, but it was just a power bomb. It was a power bomb, and Macho Man's flying elbow I would do on her.
Yes.
But the power bomb was the best one of all.
What's your favorite move? Not just to perform, but favorite move from any wrestler.
That's a hard one. Just because of the technique, not because it was devastating, but just his form and everything had to been Savage's elbow.
Yeah, one of the best elbows in the game.
But I think that Velveteen Dreams kind of perfected that a little bit.
Velveteen, yeah.
He's got the height on it.
He's got the height.
But other than that, Macho Man, just his form, Never seen anyone kick out of Hogan.
Yep.
Besides Hogan, I've never seen
Yeah.
anyone kick out of that move. But yeah, I like flying elbow. That was the best one.
Flying elbow. For me, probably be clothesline from hell.
Yep.
JBL. A friend of the Bullyzone. Kind of the inspiration behind the Bullyzone. I'm sure you know backstage stories of him. But yeah, I prefer hard hitting moves like clothesline from hell.
I'm going to only contrast you guys a little bit because you're talking RKO and big flashy stuff. But as a kid growing up, there was nothing better for me than seeing guys like Kane or Big Show just throw a big-ass boot in somebody's face. So a big boot kick, just like into a turnbuckle, off a whip, anything. That was like the most graphic of imagery of just seeing a big dude kick a littler dude in the face.
Well, give us one example of so I can eventually look it up.
So like literally, both of those guys have just like a big boot move. So just
Right.
a full extension of the leg upwards in a 90-degree into another dude's face. It's simplistic, and we were talking about this yesterday with Stone Cold after the show.
Hogan sets up the leg drop, hits him with that boot if he doesn't do the scoop.
Yeah, that's the weakest.
Those are weak, yeah.
Those simplistic ones get people over. Me and Austin were talking about this after the show yesterday of why Stone Cold, and I had brought up why Stone Cold Steve Austin was so relatable to people. It's like we were talking about, like he was a badass hard worker. Didn't do a lot of high-flying stuff after he got hurt, but, didn't have to. Always stayed on his feet, didn't do a bunch of rolls, didn't do any of that stuff. But he threw all the punches and all the kicks and all the stuff that another guy just watching could be like, oh, I could beat somebody's ass like that. Right?
Yeah, I think as far as the boot to the face, the one I've always liked was Kevin Nash's boot. He had a pretty... it's not just the boot, it's how the person sells it.
Yeah.
Everything's selling. So I think if you have a good person that you work with that sells the boot, it's always going to make you look good. But Kevin Nash, I think, had a pretty good boot. I think above, maybe with Taker too, has a good boot because Taker does the one where he drops you on the turnbuckle.
Yeah, snake eyes into the big
snake eyes
boot,
hits the rope, does the boot. That's a good boot too. But to me, Nash had the better boot. But
if we're speaking of big boots, Luke Harper, he has a nice big boot. Like if you watch him, he steps into it, like he ends up on a knee, like putting that much force into it.
Well, I'll tell you who doesn't take a good boot. It's John Cena.
John Cena, yeah, he's...
You saw the one at Mania where Taker didn't even touch him.
Yeah, like off by this much.
Yeah,
like that much.
A lot.
Well, I guess that's what you have to do with a 2-minute match.
You do what you can in 2 minutes.
Yeah,
right?
just sell real quick and get it over with and go back to the locker room.
Yeah, so, we talked about, our favorite moves. Who's your favorite wrestler?
Hogan.
Hogan?
I can't see anyone my age, Hogan not being their favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
Because when you're like a 10-year-old, 13-year-old, Hogan was just everything. Eventually people got sick of his stick, basically. The good guy, the All-American guy, and they booed him. But back in the 80s, mid-80s, maybe 90s, he was the man. He was what put wrestling on the map. He's the guy you believe in if you thought it was real back in the day.
Yeah.
But he was, Hogan. I would say next to Hogan probably because he's such an obvious choice. I would have to say Brett.
Brett, yeah.
Brett was, the next guy that I think people, because he was a nice guy, he was a hard worker, he was a technical worker, so I think people gravitated to him because of not just his attitude, but because his work ethic. So I think Hogan and then Brett right there.
Are you sad there was never
Sean down there?
Are you sad there was never that quintessential dream match in WWF at the time between Hogan and Brett? I know we got it eventually in WCW, but
that was from what I heard it was Hogan's fault.
Yeah,
Hogan didn't want to put over Brett.
Yeah, he didn't want to put over the smaller guy.
That was supposed to either be. I heard it was either supposed to be King of the Ring. I think it was King of the Ring. Hogan was supposed to put Brett over at King of the Ring. He didn't want to do it because he was on his way out, basically.
Yeah.
And he said, but I'll put over Yoko.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. Brett was never happy with Hogan back then, but I guess with all that money he paid
like you said,
there's... Got over it.
Well, if there's enough money involved, I think anyone gets over a lot of stuff.
I would get over it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's rumors that there's posters of, the Hogan-Brett match that was supposed to happen. Somewhere in the WWE warehouse.
There's
find that poster.
There's a hidden poster left.
It was going to happen, but
where would you market that match at? If you could get Prime Hogan. Well, not Prime Hogan because that's kind of hard. If you had
That's
1993,
also hard to define.
Prime Hogan was probably IC 89 probably.
Yeah.
That was
definitely
because my favorite Mania match was Hogan and Savage.
Yeah.
Because not just because of the match, because of the build. You had like a year-long build for that match, and that's how you build matches. Not like, because they had their tag team, for about like 8 months.
A long story where they're not even feuding for the whole year.
Yeah.
It's just like little nuances. Hogan picking up Elizabeth. And you can see Randy kind of giving the look like, all right, I'm sure he's just happy.
But I would hear that it was like Randy was like really, like in real life, he was like really jealous about people's dealings with Elizabeth.
I think a lot of that stuff, like you see like Hollywood movies and stuff, like you see these starlets or whatever get together and they do a film together and then eventually they get married because like that just chemistry, even while doing a job, translates to real life. And so I think those same feelings translate outside of work, outside of wrestling. Yeah. They have to.
When they had that marriage thing, the SummerSlam, they were divorced at that point.
Yeah, I heard they were divorced.
For at least a bit of it, yeah.
Like they just had barely
barely split up, but they're already too far into it. But
that was a pretty interesting storyline.
It's one of the better wrestling weddings. Nothing went wrong. There's no Eric Bischoff and like a fake mask.
What do you mean? Taker and Jake ruined the reception.
Well, that's the reception. Usually now it's like the actual wedding ceremony. Someone crashes.
So what was the best wedding? Stephanie and Triple H's wedding, where she was knocked out.
Yeah, I like that. That's probably a close second to Savage and Elizabeth.
Okay.
He's pretty good puppeteer. mimicking Stephanie, like that. But it worked.
That was a good storyline too.
That worked. Yeah, Test. That's another good big boot. I was gonna say that.
Oh
earlier.
yeah. Oh, there you go. You're speaking my language now.
But I don't want to get sidetracked. We already talked about the big boots. Any favorite matches that come to mind?
Well, okay. So I said that my favorite WrestleMania match was Hogan and Savage. I wouldn't say that was my favorite match of all time. My favorite match of all time, like I hit consideration, storyline, maybe what's at stake.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's one of the first matches I've seen. Had to been Savage Warrior WrestleMania 7 career-threatening match.
Yeah, that really good match.
That was a good match. It had just near kickouts, Savage and his 5 flying elbows.
Yeah, exactly.
The only thing I hated about the match was just the crowd was dead.
Yeah, that was WrestleMania 7. I think when they had to move venues.
Yeah, because Vince said there was terrorist threats.
Yeah, security reasons.
Which was ticket sales were horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, well, if you got Hogan and Sergeant Slaughter as your main event, you're not gonna move.
Well, that wasn't the real planned main event, right?
What was the
planned main event? Was supposedly they were gonna turn Tugboat into
I heard
Iraqi
that.
sympathizer.
Yeah,
and he was gonna turn on Hogan. So which could have worked because I think there was more of a storyline with Hogan and Tugboat because they were friends.
Yeah,
but I guess with
either
Slaughter,
way, that probably would have been less to a guy at Tugboat, being your main eventer.
Like Tugboat.
Yeah, it's just
like that's who was that a Shockmaster, huh?
Yeah, he turned into Shockmaster. If that's your main eventer,
that's the correct response, by the way, is to laugh.
Oh my goodness.
When I said Tugboat, you said, wait, Shockmaster?
Yeah, I was gonna say that when you were, after you're telling our fans about that. Well, you said Shockmaster. We all know him for his greatest, his biggest moment ever was to slip up, crashing through the wall. The greatest body, yeah. And what's being compared to that is the tightest worldwide, slip at the Greatest Royal Rumble.
I think that was planned. I don't think that was.
You think that was planned?
I think it was planned.
If it was planned, it was, executed perfectly.
Oh, they should have left it alone. And then they had to go and do other slip-ups, when Baron Corbin was having his match. And they brought him out, and they were clearing the whole area for him. I just think they just kind of overkilled it for a little bit. But I still think that the slip at the Greatest Rumble was planned.
Yeah, it was probably just planned backstage.
He executed it great.
Yeah.
I'll give him that. It was a great execution, but I think it was planned.
He should add that to his repertoire, a sliding move.
It's like his finisher?
Yeah. and slide, take out the feet.
I kind of wish he'd just go away.
Yeah,
I'm not a big Titus fan. I like Dana. I like, speaking of Titus Worldwide, I kind of like Dana and Apollo, but
yeah, Apollo Crews. Talk about underrated talent.
They ruined that guy. That guy was like a great independent wrestler. Did okay in NXT.
Yeah.
But once you go to the main roster, you might as well just like, hey, well, I'm getting a good paycheck.
Yeah.
Because your career
complacent at that point.
You're basically not going to do much.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's just complacency. There, a lot of it is like they're in direct competition with some of the biggest names around, and you have to put a lot of that bigger paycheck comes with a lot more energy that you have to throw around, that you have to put out, right? You have to do a lot more work. If you're going to get to the top of the heap with dudes that are literally legends, you go from working your ass off to working your ass off +1 or whatever that is. Right? And so that means it is a little bit complacent, but also even if you just work as hard as you were, it's still not enough. You have to kick it up another notch. And I think we see the people that succeed over time.
But what is it kicking it? What is it the kick it up a notch on the main roster?
Okay, so here's the thing. On the main roster, I think the kick it up a notch is one, get in bed with Vince, hard, right? Right? Okay, let's agree on that.
Join his ass kissing club.
Exactly. Or
literally, yeah.
Or
bring that back.
Make yourself indispensable, either to the brand or to the fans or to both, where you are such a draw that they cannot not have you at an event.
But does it also matter too if you're an independent guy that Vince may not? Because look, how many times did Vince ever want to push a WCW guy that was really over?
That's the fine line all these dudes walk, right?
Yeah.
And it's also again something Austin and I talked about last night after the show was what can an independent contractor do? Say, I don't really feel like waking up on a Saturday. Nah, I'm not going to do the show. The dudes who make it like huge forego all that like convenience of being able to make their own schedule and being an independent guy and making their own money and saying F you to Vince and F you to big platforms and venues like that, and work their ass off. Like not only is it like work as hard as you ever have, but work as hard as you ever have for 365 days a year.
All right, no, I understand. I get that, but some guys are just no matter how hard guys work, they're just never gonna be at that point where Vince wants to make them the face or make them in the main event. Because let's look at AJ. AJ is the best wrestler in WWE. He's probably their hardest worker in WWE.
I'll give you these.
When will Vince ever put him in the main event? He didn't do it at Mania, which, judging by the match, was probably a good idea.
He'll only do it when money tells him he should. Or,
okay, what did we just have? What was the last paper? Backlash? Okay. Why wasn't the title in the main event?
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem.
Why was Roman in the main event again? Because Vince doesn't want to put a guy that he did not create in the main event. That's why you never see, like, Goldberg. I mean, even though he was only there for a year to his first run, he never got, except for with Triple H. But other than that, he wasn't going to get it.
If we can identify this problem, and I do think it's a problem, with WWE, with wrestling as a whole, is stuff that people don't create themselves, they don't want to put over. We see it a lot. What would you say is the fix to that? What's the go between?
Easy. Vince is the fix. Vince needs to step to the side and let Triple H take over because you see how well NXT's working out. Vince needs to just, hey, Vince, you're great. You did great for years and years and years, but I think Eric Bischoff made you good. And I think once WCW went out of business, you faltered. You don't have competition. So you need to let someone else take over. Your product is suffering, and independent people are flocking to independent shows. Yeah. Because look at All In. All In is sold out. What, in an hour, 30 minutes?
Yeah, like right away. Yeah, you don't even.
And people don't want to come because of him or because they think their character is going to be damaged. Like Kenny Omega, I don't think he's ever going to go.
Well, would you do any of those things if you knew you were going to be so damaged by walking into like a big payday and then your career's going to
if I was paid millions, I guess I would
you
just
might
do
take
it.
That hit.
But he's not. But from what I read, Kenny's not like that.
No.
I think his art and his craft is too important to him. That money can't put a price tag on that. So I think these guys, unless they feel like they've done everything they could in independence and they're just going to try their hand at the major league, let's see how it goes. But I don't see Kenny. I don't see the Young Bucks. I don't see Cody going back because they're making more money.
They are. And
who do you think on the indies, who hasn't been signing with WWE, they could have been signed with the developmental, OVW or FCW, could possibly go to WWE and make a huge impact, a la AJ Styles.
Right.
It doesn't have to be an independent guy to be signed with Japan, but someone who hasn't been, on the WWE main roster. Who do you think jump ship tomorrow, be on Monday Night Raw or Tuesday night?
So an independent guy being on Raw.
Yeah, who can go in there and,
do it now.
And not get ruined.
Okay. Like I just mentioned, so I know Omega, if he went there right now, he would not get ruined because I think people will get in Vince's ear saying, don't screw this up. This guy is legit.
Means a lot to me.
The best wrestler in the world. Do not screw this up. And I think Vince would hear it so many times that he would be forced not to do anything. Because if you get a guy like Omega, that guy's like kind of not the lifesaver of the company, but he just made your company like, you distance yourself from like the independents because now you're getting the biggest major talent that's not WWE associated. So I think that one guy right there would be the one. The next one I think that would be good is the Young Bucks.
Absolutely,
because their characters are great.
Yeah,
they popularized the super kick again, supposedly. So I think those three would be the ones that I think could jump ship and not be affected.
Yeah, they're already selling merch like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure WWE wishes they can, move the merch like they do. Have their tag team division moving merch like that. Who's their best tag team? Who do you think is their best? Doesn't have to be the champion, just like, who do you think would be the most popular tag team?
WWE?
Yeah.
Honestly, the best tag team right now, which pisses me off, they're not being used correctly at all, is the Revival.
Yeah. I was gonna ask that earlier. Which NXT people, do you think have been ruined on the main roster that were good in NXT, and then kind of got their ball dropped on the main roster? And Revival is probably the number one answer at the moment.
Well, I read a report that Vince is not high on tag teams anymore, and the Revival, and they said this is the reason why Sanity hasn't debuted yet, was because Vince just, they don't have anything for them to do, and Vince just doesn't like tag teams for some reason. So teams that, that are very talented at what they do are probably going to, like I said, suffer on the main roster. I mean, what's the point of even promoting them if they're just not going to do anything?
Exactly.
So I think Triple H is kind of like say, because I don't know how much say Triple H has, which say he has, as far as, if someone's going to get promoted, can he hold them back? Because if you're like going to go to the main roster, he can say, well, you're going to get held back. I might as well just keep you here for a little bit longer.
The story is, he did that with Asuka, like during the, draft when they brought that back in 2016.
Oh,
yes. Please don't draft Asuka. I'm not done with her yet.
Right.
Not because they were going to ruin her per se, but like he still had more with her. She was still, I believe she was still champion at the time. There's still so much more they could have done with her on NXT.
Adam Woods wants to jump in and say the authors of Pain is a casualty of this idea.
Exactly. I read that too. Yeah. It was that is I mean, I don't think they're better than the Revival, but they're a good tag team. But they're another example of. I think I heard a rumor that what they should do is pair them with Roman as a heel group.
Yes.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah,
to try Roman in a different direction and maybe launch them up.
They're not Samoa, but the Fest guys.
What I understand is when they had the draft, which was good for Finn. So Finn got drafted, and then he got the semi-main event of SummerSlam. Where's his title rematch? His rematch.
Yeah,
he hasn't even got it yet.
He hasn't even asked for it. Which as
they probably told him not that.
I don't think they're allowed to. I think they're contractually obligated to shut their mouth.
The story, they don't have the story for him to be in the main picture yet, because, in real life, Brock versus Finn Balor.
Right.
Anyone from the outsider, not a fan of watching that, they'd be like, why is this beast going up against this, just graduated child? Finn's, I'll go with that. He probably realizes that there's not a legitimacy there's two different. Finn Balor, he's a cruiserweight technically, but it is wrestling. Anything can happen. Yeah, it would be nice to see that two different styles.
Well, he was supposedly scheduled for the Rumble to fight Brock and Vince.
Yeah, I would have liked that. If you're gonna have a main eventer who only comes every once in a while, don't feed him the same guy. Like they're doing now with the Roman. Don't feed him Roman twice in a row, and just cheapen Roman.
I just don't know where. As far as Roman, I don't know where to go from here. Because
who do you think is gonna take the title from Brock?
Probably Braun.
Well,
Braun or. Well, probably Braun or Roman, but my guess is that isn't Braun in the Money in the Bank match?
Yes.
Okay, so I know you guys will probably do your predictions show, but my pick is either Braun or Samoa Joe to get the briefcase.
Yeah, I agree with you on this one with Samoa Joe.
Yeah,
I think it's time for that to happen. The setup's there, and the influence of of Samoa Joe himself, just like removed from anyone else, is there. And I think it's interesting and it's fresh and it's new, and that's what I want.
I think he could. I mean, if he wins it, I think he's like the choice other than Braun too. But if Braun wins it, I think he's going to challenge at SummerSlam, and I think Brock's going to probably just go back to UFC. And
we had mentioned before the show, I don't think these guys are sticking around for. I mean, I do not honestly see anyone with a giant marketing brand and bank account hanging on their back like Brock, like Ronda, like even Ken Shamrock. If we want to go way back, those people don't stick around that long because they don't need to, right? They don't need the money, right?
We got a question coming in.
So we got some things coming on the walls. We got Dorian Floyd over here saying that it should be Drew McIntyre to retrieve that briefcase.
No.
What do you think? It's strong nose over there?
No.
Drew McIntyre not ready for it yet?
Adam Woods says that he sells his punches to the chest with a chest protector. The whole Roman doesn't understand that. Let's see. Everybody loves the Good Brothers. And Mike Oropeza says, look what happened to the Ascension. They were a big deal at NXT and nowhere in the main roster.
Right.
That's all the updated comments we have right now. Adam Woods says that Brock has lost his appeal in his opinion.
That's true. Look at Mania. The whole match was booed. He couldn't even have his name and being the champion couldn't save that match. It was just the end result that made people happy. But Brock is not the guy anymore he used to be.
Yeah, like you said, you said you were at WrestleMania 31.
Yeah.
That first, Roman Brock match was a great match.
It was great.
Because, Brock was trying, different moves, not just first as we go into WrestleMania 34, and it's just F5, 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 F5.
Well, the thing with 31 was that, one, it was their first match. And you kind of and it was one of those matches where you kind of didn't know what the outcome was going to be. It wasn't like 34 where you thought, okay, Roman's just going to win this match. This was kind of okay, I'm interested to see what happens. The way it started, it was good. It was hard hitting. Roman took some great bumps. That clothesline on the outside of the apron. Getting slapped. Getting the slap crapped out of him with, there's a joke like WrestleMania 34 that Brock took off his gloves just to hit Roman with his elbows.
Yeah, exactly. You should have some elbow pads to take off.
He's just took it off and just bam, hit him. So it was a great match. The ending was amazing. I mean, probably the best Mania ending I've ever seen with Seth Rollins cashing in. Right. But I think the fact is that they went with the F5. They wanted to be for this whole past year, they wanted no one to kick out the F5. Even AJ couldn't kick out, or Samoa Joe couldn't kick out, and Braun couldn't kick out. When we just saw it 3 years ago with 3 kickouts.
Yeah.
So that's Vince just kind of insults our intelligence. We don't know what's going on.
We never SummerSlam Roman didn't kick out in that fatal 4-way match.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, 5 months removed, he's able to kick out a 5.
I think it's because I'll give this to Vince. At least he understands, and this is a problem, that his audience has just as short a memory as his writers.
Not okay. The casual fans maybe, but not the hardcore fans.
Agreed. But the problem is the casual fans, honestly, I think are the ones just dumping money all over him, right? A hardcore fan is like, all right, let me buy my time. Let me buy a ticket when I give a shit, right?
Yeah.
Let me go to a show that I really care about. Let me buy merch that I'm really invested in. The hardcore fans are doing all that. The casual ones that are here and there, and much more numerous, are the ones who are going to be like, let me jump on every bandwagon. Let me follow every storyline, even though it sucks. Let me go to every show because I just can, because I've, for some reason, more disposable income than a hardcore fan. Let's not draw any correlations there. But I think at some point, either Vince or someone on that staff understands that they don't have to be perfect, so they're not.
Well, I want to know is who put Nicholas in a spot at WrestleMania when it could have went to a legit, hard-working wrestler.
Oh my God!
That upset me. That upset me.
I mean, it's late. I watched this podcast. I don't know if it was Saul Monster. You know, Saul Monster is.
Yeah, Saul Monster.
I don't know if it was his show, but it was someone else's show. So this is how bad their writing is. So basically, when Roman lost the belt at the Rumble to Triple H, well, actually, Dean got eliminated last. So when before, was it Fastlane, or was that the pay-per-view when it was Brock versus Dean versus Roman?
Yeah.
So the whole storyline. Oh, go ahead.
All right, guys, this is a Bullyzone pop quiz. You answered this. Oh, never mind. Somebody answered it. So, Adam Woods wants to ask, how many Manias has Roman main evented so far?
4.
4.
That's 4, an easy one. Mike Orpeza said it before I even threw it out there.
Yeah. Boom.
That could have been an easy chance.
That was
for a
easy.
raffle a ticket.
It'll be 5 next year, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, some way by magic it'll be 6 next year.
I don't know.
I'm glad I got that.
Unless they give it to Charlotte and Ronda.
You think this is going to be the year they finally have women main event WrestleMania?
No.
I'm not saying that they don't deserve it, but I just don't see it happening.
They've already shown that the direction of the company is turned away from it. I mean, we saw that with like
the Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah, and then turning down the whole Revolution thing.
So I think this is how it works. So when they had the Hell in a Cell match with Sasha and Charlotte, the last spot when the table didn't break, Vince probably went, screw it, women are never being evented again.
Make me look bad like
this?
No.
Yeah. I gave you the main event.
You think that's all it was?
I gave you the main event and you botched the table spot. You're done. That's probably Vince right there.
Well, now that they have Ronda, after Ronda appeared, it was all over, mainstream news sites.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that may be the only way women get the chance if Ronda is in the main event.
But I also think that the reason she was so easily picked up and swept up into the whole wrestle world was she had already damaged her own stuff, right? She already been almost just shipped out of mixed martial arts, of like making that whole circuit and going on Ellen and crying. Like a lot of people were upset at that. We're like, you were a rock solid steady. We don't want to see you cry and complain when like there are people right under you that will grin and bear it and fight through it, quite literally. And they didn't want to see that from her. And granted, I don't know where I stand on that issue, but she came full, like, with this whole back catalog of crap of her own career that she brought into the brand itself, that she brought into the wrestling world, that she brought to, again, why people were pissed off when she wore Roddy Piper's stuff, basically, of, like, aligning those two things, not necessarily liking her as a person.
Well, with the Rowdy stuff, she had his blessing. So, in that, like, he was on interviews, like, oh, she's like my daughter.
Yeah.
So it's okay. Like, if you can't hate on that.
But the problem is people will still just be like, I don't like it. And they can just not like it. I don't know that she's going to be one to be able to carry that torch of, like, this is now a women's thing of wrestling, and we're going to, turn a new leaf, and we're going to change Vince's mind, and all this. I don't know that that's the person you put all the, chickens in that basket or eggs in that basket or whatever.
But it also it depends on how she does, though. I mean, it's like for the main event question. If she has a great match with Nia Jax, which I kind of don't see happening, not because she can't, but because I just think their styles just aren't going to work. But if she goes out and just kills it for the rest of the year, I don't see why not. But the problem is that I think a better opponent would have been Asuka. And I think they already ruined Asuka with losing to Charlotte already.
Yeah.
So I think the fact is they had a chance to. It's kind of like with The Undertaker. Like some matches would have meant more if the streak wasn't broken.
Yeah.
So this match could have had more at stake if, say, Asuka was undefeated still. So because you have to legitimize her as a main like this person that can't be beat. You know, she's like our toughest woman in our division, but you know, so I guess they have no choice to go with Charlotte.
Do you think they have a way to redo that? I mean, to salvage it? Is there a way to fix it all?
Not that they can't, but I just don't think through creative they won't, because I think
that's the more accurate answer.
You have to have her mow over like a bunch of people, and especially like have her maybe take the title from Carmella, which she has the belt.
Yeah, I think she's just kind of a lost cause. You know, I don't think Vince, like you said, outside talents, he's not a big fan of. Like the whole WCW not pushing those guys.
Nope.
We're seeing it with Shinsuke Nakamura. You know, an outside talent from, you know, possibly your biggest competition right now, New Japan. I'm not saying she's from New Japan, but that Japanese style. Is it because they can't, you know, cut a decent promo?
Good save.
What was wrong with that? That wasn't a save. No, I'm saying like,
I think it's not.
It hasn't been like a foreign, you know, main eventer like that who hasn't been able to.
Well, to be on the main roster, one of the biggest things is not just wrestling, it's how well you speak on the microphone.
Right.
And I think it does hurt him, but let's look at Shinsuke. Now that he's doing these like quick one-liners, like "sorry, don't speak English," or all that stuff, it's kind of, even though it's limited, it gets over with people.
Well, it gets the point across very easily.
So I think if they wanted to reach across, like say microphone skills, you got to do it to where it to their strengths. Basically,
I mean, there have been plenty of wrestlers. Okay, we can draw back to I don't like Roman Reigns. Let's talk about the lack of mic skills. There are plenty of great badass wrestlers who get over, who do a ton of work, who do every event under the sun, who can't talk on the mic worth a damn. And I think you work with what you got.
Well, like Roman, or any other examples?
Okay, Roman. Let's go back in history here.
AJ's gotten better.
AJ's gotten better.
Yeah.
Ancient history, like I don't think the Edge was ever particularly good on the mic. I don't even think. To be honest, as compared to his peers at the time, I'll couch this one a little bit.
Wait, is this heel Edge or Attitude Era Edge?
Attitude Era.
Okay. I'll give him that.
That's what I'm saying. Like the main eventers, like Roman, he's a true main eventer. Whether you love him or hate him, he's in every main event, whether he has a title or not. I'm talking like John Cena, a true main eventer. When he talks, he sells pay-per-view, sells merch, sells matches. You know, like The Miz, he has the potential to be
right. I think that is the difference between someone who truly can be a main eventer and make a ton of waves and just be the man. Is everything comes together, timing, the brand power, Vince liking you, and then just circumstance and things like being able to sell a match just by your words alone. Like that is a huge power. Sheamus can sell a match just by looking at the camera the right way. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I don't know. I
don't. You don't think so? I think so.
Like the look's different. You can't just like look. You gotta be able to talk.
Well, it's interesting. Interesting is the thing.
Like I love Sheamus. I'm not saying anything. Like he's a great worker, got the great look, but if he's going up against like a mic battle with John Cena.
Oh, for sure. I think there's definitely layers and different levels of.
That's why he's in a tag team. He's not a main eventer. Like
he was
never been a main.
I don't know. I don't know if people like him because they were cheering Roman over him.
Exactly.
When he won the
guys that you put, like they're doing with Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
Here, give Jinder to Roman. Maybe Roman will get some cheers. You always gotta have one of those guys.
But I think
how's that gonna work? They hate Jinder regardless. I mean.
What I think is good though is people like a little bit of ambiguity and something they can project themselves on, and even the dude who can't, Shinsuke, the dude who can't speak English, quote unquote, they can see themselves in that role or like that role or feel familiar with it, and then project all these different things into that character that aren't really there, but people can latch onto and find agreeable. The creative process of making that work is not difficult. It's why Keanu Reeves is a great actor and people love him, is because he has the most deadpan face in the world. So when you look at him, you're like, I can see myself doing that. Because if he can do it, I can do it, right? If Shinsuke can be a badass, I can be a badass. I think somewhere deep down that resonates with who knows who, right?
Yeah. Well, if Shinsuke loses this match, he should just go back to Japan anyways. I just think this whole thing has, and it's not of any of his fault. I just think Vince just doesn't like. I don't think he likes him. I think he just I think he has his boys, and he wants to push who he wants to push. And I think they're gonna. What, SummerSlam you get Shinsuke and AJ again?
Nah, I'd still watch that, but yeah.
I would watch it, but it's kind of like it makes the whole, because everyone says their Mania match wasn't good. It wasn't great. It wasn't
the best.
It wasn't the best, but it wasn't a bad match.
It was like pizza. It was still good. Right?
Yeah, it's kind of like you market it as a dream match, and it's just like, it's slow, exactly. And people are worn out by then. It's basically, you kind of water it down with all these matches, basically.
Yeah.
Like was their next match that great? Was it better than the last? Was it better than?
The problem is, I think a lot of times in wrestling we judge people by their last match, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what people see, and that's what people saw. So.
Well, we know Vince doesn't.
Yeah. Fans do though, I think.
So let's just say if Roman gets the main event again next year, which he probably will. Who should he probably go against? I'm thinking Braun, and I think Braun should be the babyface and Roman be the heel.
That's hard.
Yeah, it's a good question. Braun's always a good answer. I would like to see, they already blew their load with the Shield triple threat. They did it on the pay-per-view.
Battleground.
Yeah, Battleground. Good match. The surprise was, Dean Ambrose going over.
Yeah.
He's kind of probably third of who Vince has his eye on. We all know it's probably Roman and Seth.
Yeah.
Dean. But they can make that main event. If they're gonna throw Roman into another main event, it's got to be a Shield triple threat.
But do you think could it work if they had their, let's say Dean's a heel on this one and Roman's a heel on this one and Seth's like the only babyface? Do you think that could work?
I would say Dean definitely has a heel.
Mm-hmm.
Seth as the babyface. He's killing it right now. He's having a great run with the IC title. Roman,
maybe turn heel.
Go in there. Who do you set him against to make that happen? What's the catalyst for that storyline?
Well, you had it. You had it where he.
I know you had it.
Heyman turned against Brock and went with
right, but then you have to bring. But then exactly. But then you have to
heel.
bring Brock back into it. Is the problem?
No, you don't.
You don't think so?
What are you talking? We're talking about the main event, WrestleMania 35.
Okay.
Like how we want it. Roman. It'd probably be best if he was heel, but.
I think so. I think it could, because right when Braun was like elevating himself, probably like the most popular guy, Seth just jumped in and got a little bit higher, I think. So I think Seth's like your main baby face.
Yeah.
It could be like if it was Seth and Roman's the heel, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
As long as it's a good match and there's a good story to it. I'm okay with another triple threat match as long as it's the people in the right positions.
Yeah.
And there's a good story, because anything can work with a good story. But
I think that works overall for everyone. I think that makes Vince happy. I think it makes fans happy. I think it makes the workers happy. That's a good one.
Yeah, you said Braun. I said triple threat. Who do you have?
Honestly, I would just go back and redo the Brock Roman match.
You're saying you're like over that.
I am over it, but I want to see it done properly.
No,
I'm honestly only because I am thoroughly interested in MMA and wrestling doing well together. Because if you take two good things and you put them together in the right way, they make one hell of a great thing, right? And I think they left it on a sour note. I think they left it on a kind of a weird spot. And I think if you can rope back in these huge stars, because the way that wrestling has worked, like people who grow out of wrestling into greater stardom become actors and whatever. The MMA already has that going for it. Ronda, Brock, go all the way back, Shamrock, that kind of same stuff. If you can rope those guys back in and get a whole another audience, that also lends itself to a little bit more creative competition.
Well, if you want to do, MMA wrestling, I would say do Brock versus Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley, who has an better MMA record than Brock.
I find it to be more interesting if Roman finally has a reason to turn heel, I guess. I don't know.
What if Connor came to WWE?
Oh, Jesus.
I like to, honestly, it'd be
Can we just
like who could you match? I mean, obviously, if he was in the main event or something, it would get a lot of eyes right there. Who could match up with him as far as wrestling? Because obviously,
that's a hard.
I think he can adapt to. I think he's the type of guy that can adapt to it.
Yeah, that's the only problem I see with, with Conor. With Brock, they got lucky that he was an MMA fighter. He was huge, so you can put him with anyone on the main roster because he's pretty much as big, or if not bigger.
Right.
With Conor, we all know
size discrepancy.
We all know the stereotype. Vince likes big, sweaty men. He's not a big, sweaty man.
Not at all.
Fantastic athlete.
He's a small, slightly moist man.
We got a question coming in.
We got something from Adam Woods himself. He wants to know, which has been the biggest disappointment, Nakamura or Sin Cara?
Sin Cara.
I would say, me. I was out of wrestling when Sin Cara came in, so I didn't know all the hype behind him. Going back now, I know all the hype that was there for him, but being able to see Nakamura come in, live. Not live, I wasn't there, but seeing him, in front of my eyes progress, or progress. I hate to say, I would have to say him.
The only reason why I say
I agree.
The only reason why I say Sin Cara is because
Thank you.
it's not due to any fault of Nakamura. Sin Cara just sucked. Like, he was botching his entrances. He was just doing a lot of things wrong. He fought Del Rio and he hurt his finger and he wanted the match to stop. So I have to say. I say Sin Cara only because Nakamura isn't, because it's just his handling's wrong. But Sin Cara had the potential to be like a great luchador, and because his attitude, he just sucked. The original one, I know, the Mystico. He's the one that was disappointed. So that's my answer. So you still say Nakamura?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really have a dog in that fight or horse in that race, but yeah.
A lot of people say, they didn't give Sin Cara enough time to adapt. Everywhere else in the world, they do left. They attack the left side, they work the left hand, and they shoot off with the left hand. In Mexico, they do the right side. So you grab the right hand, you work the right side of the body. A lot of people say that could have, contributed to why he wasn't as good as he could be. He didn't have time to adapt. First is a guy like Rey Mysterio who's able to work a match in Texas one night, drive down to Mexico, work a match right there, and both matches be equally good. You think that's something that really holds someone back, or it's just like he wasn't pushing himself?
Well, I would think that once you make that transition, you better be ready. Even if there's differences in styles or whatever. But it wasn't so much it wasn't his style. It was just his attitude. It was that he was botching stuff, like not even in the match, just in the entrances.
His debut.
Yeah, so and fighting, not wanting to work through pain, just being lazy. So I think that's why I consider him.
We got a question coming in.
Adam Woods likes to interject and say, how easy do you guys think it is to run down a ramp, jump on a trampoline?
I don't think it's easy.
Well, that's what he does.
But when you do that for a living every day,
that's your trait. It's like.
Well, I'm sure he had to practice it beforehand. They wouldn't let him do it if he wasn't perfected.
I mean, I'm sure they asked him, and he said, "Yeah." So I mean, the fact is that they're not going to. I mean, I don't know how much they make him.
If we try and do that,
1,000% we want to get it. You know, within the first 10 tries.
That's
Sin Cara
like
being who he is.
Ricochet could do it without even jumping on trampoline.
Did you see that video of him when Velveteen Dream was calling him out, and he just flipped over the top rope, flew 5 feet.
Oh yeah, that's why NXT. I'm looking forward to the takeover show.
What they're talking about that.
No, yeah.
That
the Velveteen, that's gonna be an awesome match.
That's gonna be a good match, I think. I've always liked what's his name, Ryan? Was it
Ricochet?
Patrick Clark? The Velveteen Dream.
Clark, yeah.
I always liked him when he was on Tough Enough because he seemed like he was sincere. He really loved wrestling. He was just like the guy that I think deserved it. I'm glad to see him get that shot, and he's really taking off with this character. He's making his own. Having great matches and has one of the best elbows in the business.
John Cena called him the one.
Oh, yeah.
So, if John Cena has any...
Just stay away from the main roster.
Yeah, that's, I wouldn't put him up there until, Triple H. Everyone says he's going to take over.
Yeah.
If Triple H were to take over, within the near future, that's when you pull the trigger on Velveteen Dream.
Well, and when Triple H takes over too, you ain't gonna see Punk there at all.
Yeah.
I think the only chance we ever have of seeing Punk in WWE is Vince is still around, because I think he still likes Vince.
Yeah.
It's just Triple H he hates.
Triple H, yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. When you hurt for money, you'll do anything.
Yeah, right.
Do you really think he honestly think he likes Vince?
CM Punk?
Yeah, no bad blood there?
I don't think he has bad blood with Vince.
I mean,
judging by the story he told, because I think he didn't say anything negative about Vince.
No,
it was
that's
all about
true.
Triple H.
There wasn't just out and out hatred. I will grant you that.
There's out hate. There's out hatred.
He
for
hates
Triple H because he would not put him over at Night of Champions.
So I will give CM Punk this. He is nothing if not Christian, because he hates the sin, but he'll love the sinner.
Mm-hmm.
He hates the outcomes of WWE and the certain things that go on, but I don't think he has trashed anyone outright.
Well, for the fact that he's suing, the doctor's suing him, right?
Well, I think so. Is that the
was it vice versa before?
I think it's vice versa because they misdiagnosed CM Punk.
I think it was the first one was the diagnosis, and then the second one was the doctor for slander or
I think that's
kind of like that.
Yeah.
I didn't really read all of it. I just saw it and was like, what the hell is going on?
Do you hear what CM stands for?
Either Chicago made or Chick Mag. He said Chicago made, right?
On trial,
no, you said the one that I like, Chick Magnet.
Well, he said a lot of things. He said Chick Magnet. He said.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a good one.
I forget, but I know it's Chicago made.
I'll go with the one he said on trial. If you under oath, if he's
when was he on trial?
Truthful. What?
When was he at trial?
He's not on trial, but the whole lawsuit with the lawyer.
I know. When did that happen?
No, yeah.
It's going on right now.
Oh, right now?
Yeah, and I guess he was.
So why didn't he just say Phil?
Yeah, I guess they asked him what's CM.
What's your name? Phil Brooks.
Well, because if they ask you an alias,
the whole Hulk Hogan thing, they're asking him about his penis size. He's like, Hulk Hogan has a big penis, but Terry Bollea doesn't. He's like, why would that need to come up? The lawyer's gonna ask. Whatever.
I love that differentiation between actual and person.
We got something coming in.
Go for it.
Another one from Free Admission, our Adam Woods himself. Let's settle this right now. Triple H versus Punk in a shoot fight. Who wins?
Triple H every single time.
A shoot fight?
That's hard.
I don't care.
Whatever.
Nope.
Maybe.
I think Triple H only because he probably just sit on him the whole time. Because
you don't go an entire career being that much of a badass, and that's what I think people miss about.
It's because he married the boss's daughter. That's why he had longevity.
True.
He is a badass, but that's not entirely why.
No. You don't go because
he runs to daddy and be like,
because I know the argument.
I don't want to lose tonight.
The argument there is wrestler versus guy with MMA aspirations and background of CM Punk or whatever. Like, who's actually going to win that fight? The bigger dude it doesn't have to leverage much, right?
Right.
And you don't go your entire career training to actually beat ass and restraining yourself without actually knowing how to beat ass, right? That's the whole point.
So I go Triple H.
I wish this question was asked after his next UFC match. That would make this answer a lot easier.
Yeah.
I don't know any training Triple H has, but I'll throw CM Punk a bone.
Okay.
He's been training for a couple years now. If he gets one lucky hold on Triple H,
So you think he's gonna win?
This argument.
This match, I don't know, because the Triple H fight.
No, the upcoming fight.
Well, that guy probably has more training than CM Punk.
I give it less.
And CM Punk has more training than Triple H.
Ain't gonna go 2 rounds. We'll go
round. Adam Woods wants to know, Mr. Original Ross Roy.
Yeah. What's up?
Triple H really?
Yeah, really.
He doesn't do jiu-jitsu.
Hashtag I don't give a. Have you seen? Okay, you can do. Okay. Here's the thing. You can put Hoist Gracie. Okay, Adam, I'm speaking directly to you now. You can put Hoist Gracie in the ring with literally anybody, and I guarantee you, submission is going to go a long way. But when somebody doesn't abide by your rules of engagement and they just beat your head in because they're huge compared to you, at a certain point, something's got to give. And I think
but these guys train to
I agree. But if we're giving the parameters of CM Punk and Triple H. Prime or not, I think Triple H just has that mass on CM. Just that's it.
Like put a headlock on him and just hold him
There's
there.
just two. Like I can fight as much as I want and know as much technique and finesse and everything. But if I'm going up against, a 7'6" giant dude and I can't reach his head to get off some of the stuff I'm trying to do or whatever.
Yeah, but Triple H isn't it?
No, it's not that. I'm just saying that I think the size.
6'5".
Anyway.
That's what I'm saying. He's saying preach.
Whatever. Okay, don't get me on a rant, okay?
Yeah, I'll give CM Punk his credit. He's been training his ass off.
But yeah, he's training. But what did he show in the last fight?
That's also true.
He showed nothing.
Yeah, see, look.
What's that?
What's that?
That happened.
That happened.
That happened.
Crack.
Who is that?
That's Minimal Man versus Hong Man Choi. 7-foot giant behemoth. Actually, is a K1 kickboxer.
Yes.
Fought another pro wrestler.
It's not Triple H.
We can also bring up
though.
Robert, I'm surprised you did. It's not. It's not Triple H.
Exactly.
It's not Triple H. It's not Triple H.
Exactly. This guy's probably got more legitimacy than Triple H.
I'm surprised you didn't bring up.
He's probably a better fighter than CM Punk.
That giant dude would tear Triple H apart. That giant dude would
Wait, so who won that match?
I'm surprised.
The
The
little
little guy. Yeah, I know.
By what?
Match he's talking
A
about.
knockout?
Yeah.
No.
No.
He broke his, he got a hold of his leg and
Cracked it.
Oh.
No, I'm surprised you guys didn't bring up Bob Sapp.
Yeah, I was gonna say that right now. Bob Sapp fought a little dude. Well, Bob Sapp probably just stopped training.
Bob Sapp's crazy.
If he was in his prime, he was all blown up. I saw a match, probably a guy that looked like that size versus a big fat guy.
If we're, I
fact, I just got blown
we're
up
doing
like-
apples to oranges, and you can compare the two all you want, and it's fair too. I just think Triple H should beat CM's ass.
But no, I don't think it'd be dominating. I think you wear him out.
No, I think it would just be
What does
brute
Adam
force.
think?
What does Adam think? Yeah, what's Adam think? Adam, respond, please.
Adam thinks that technique goes over steroids every time.
All right.
That's true. We all seen Triple H before. Before
No, yeah, but
it was
modifications.
Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Yeah.
The Blue Blood. We all saw how kind of smaller he was.
They all do steroids.
Exactly.
All
He's
of
got
them.
his money on Punk, by the way.
That's
All of
fine.
them.
Good
That's
man,
fine.
good
A lot of
man.
people had their money on Connor too, but
It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't as obvious as when Billy Gunn had no chest,
Oh.
and then he got all ripped.
Well, and then he
you know?
became this totally different person.
Yeah. Yeah, he was in the Smoking Guns. He was had
Or
no. He
Can
had Edge's body.
I mean, can we talk about Scott Steiner's weird man boobs? Is that okay?
As long as we don't talk about him in TNA or Impact Wrestling.
Which, uh,
What happened?
All right. So where were we headed with this now? I forgot.
What were we talking about? We were talking about
I think we want to get into house rules last night.
yeah.
Did we want to touch on house rules?
house rules.
So, Lance, you want to come in here?
Let's do
We
it.
want to bring on Lance. Let me grab some stuff. I'll be right back too. Come on.
No idea. Move over them or go back over there.
Lance will take his seat for right now.
Okay.
Oh boy, what's going on, guys? Getting away from the producer's chair, back where I belong, in front of the beautiful camera. How you guys doing? It's your boy Lance Winners here at the Bullyzone. We've been having a great show. Thank you for all the fans that have been watching. I've been interacting with you all day. It's time for the original to get behind the keyboard, and I'm behind this big old picture board. Thanks for coming by today. We really appreciate you, man.
Good to be
Friend
here.
of Tron Jones, he's a friend of us. House shows. So you know a lot about WWE. You know a lot about. I was saying house shows because you know a lot about WWE. You know a lot about that. But have you been to any indie shows? Have you ever been to any non-documented WWE things?
No, I've been desiring to go to PCW and
PCW?
PWG.
PWG. Those are some great
I just
names.
heard it's hard to get tickets for PWG sometimes.
Oh yeah, PWG is really hard to get into,
Yeah.
but once you get in there, it's like you guys were saying earlier, it's like the top tier talent that you're gonna see right under NXT.
Yep.
But PCW is also like that, full of top tier quality talent.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the first shows me and Austin went to before we even started the Bullyzone.
Mm-hmm.
A little fun story about that. It's about to be a year since we've been to our first indie show. But the show you really need to hear about is Orange County Championship Wrestling. That's right, OCCW. It's in Stanton, California. It's where the Bullies reside. It's our little house. Last night we had house rules. It was a 5-match card. We challenged anybody from new tag team champions, no. We had a chance at a new world heavyweight champion, no. But I enjoyed every single match, and I was hoping we can break it down a little bit.
so I can get you a little idea of these characters. Maybe I can see you at the next show.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. My wife goes to school, so
all
the way in by USC, so it would have been too hard to get from there and back, especially the LA traffic.
Understandable.
Yeah, like yesterday, I was in Riverside for I think I was telling you before we went live, D'Lo Brown's seminar. Who was actually in attendance? You know, he was able to come out to the show, so that was cool. But yeah, that traffic was killer.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you got it worse.
Not gonna make it in an hour at least because it was 5. It gets out at 5 o'clock. You said it started at 6. Yeah, 6 o'clock. We've been waiting.
Yeah, you gotta make a day out of it out here.
Well, luckily for you, next event is gonna be on June 24th. It's going to be at 1 p.m. It's going to be on a Sunday.
I heard you guys talking about
that. So that's a little different, John. I wish we talked about that. But
very different, John.
But, it's going to be fun. No, it's going to be in Los Alamitos. So when it's not at our dojo in Stanton, it goes between different American Legion posts or Boys and Girls Club, so we can branch out, expand, get a bigger venue because we do get sold out.
Right.
House rules yesterday, it did not look sold out. But by the time 6:30, 6:45 rolled through, the building was packed and everybody was on their feet for the action. How was the opening match, Austin? Let us know about that.
Well, first, you got to recognize who opened up the show, really. Your boys, the Bullyzone.
Everybody knows that. Everybody loves that.
Every OCCW show, we have our own little Piper's Pit, Bullyzone Live. It's really our chance to get to know the talent. So we had the debuting Gusten Uberstud, making his OCCW debut. We had him on the show. He was telling the crowd that, that anyone's going to do. He's telling the crowd that he's better than them. And he went one-on-one with our boy Voodoo Master. He's kind of a OCCW homegrown talent. Voodoo Master, what do you think of when you hear that? What kind of guy?
Just picture him.
Try to Papa Shango?
Maybe not so big, but you got everything else pretty squared away.
Yeah.
Cajun Sorcerer. He was on he's an undefeated 5-win streak his last 5 shows, and the last show happened to be a triple threat. So it adds on to the legitimacy of him saying, "I don't want this guy here at our show."
He has a lucha influence, has a skull mask with the tights. But let's get into the match. Gusten Uberstud, debuting, was able to make a big impact and defeat Voodoo Master and break that win streak he was on. Gusten Uberstud, what do you think of when you hear that?
Say the name again?
Gusten Uberstud.
I don't know. That's a weird name.
I'll give you... Okay, let me put a picture to him. So, Ben Stiller was in a popular movie in early 2000s where he was... but he didn't have a handlebar Triple H mustache, but he was throwing dodgeballs.
Dodgeball.
Yeah. That's what he looks like, except he's obviously a lot more fit. His hair's a little longer, but... Gusten was amazing in his matches, his debut. The crowd didn't like him. We don't like the crowd, so it doesn't really matter. Because at the end of the day, our boy was able to pick up the win against our other boy, which kind of complicates things, Because when you're in the business, it's hard to make friends, Because when 2 bad guys get together, I'm just on the team that wins at the end of the day, Right. Whoever's cutting the check, I'll be right there. But Gusten was able to pull in that win. He was able to do little dance moves. I don't think anybody liked that. But... yeah, everybody hates on the winner, especially when they're not the smiley good guy type. That's kind of like the theme of that night.
What's his finisher?
His finisher? What was it? It was like an inverted... It looked like he got him in like an inverted DDT, but then he flipped him.
It's kind of like a Pete's Dunne finisher.
Oh, like
the bitter end?
Yeah, kind of like that.
Like a pump handle, kind of?
Pump handle into like a front bump, yeah.
Okay. I was thinking of...
Or kind of like Brian Cage, Brian Cage's finisher.
Because you said inverted DDT or something.
I'm going to have to show you right now. I'm sorry, fans.
Almost. Yeah.
Yeah. But, no, it's, something until, they take a front bump, he took a back bump.
Okay. You said Brian Cage does it, so.
He does something kind of like that. I'm not a big fan of that. It just seems kind of... There's some... Brian Cage especially, you can do that.
Let's see. I think it's... He's going to counter right here. This is Voodoo's finisher. It's like an F5. So he bounces off the rope. He gets him like this and hits him with the back and then flips him like that.
That's a weird move.
Yeah,
it was like a stunner with a crossroads kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like how the Miz has back in the day had his little 2-piece finishers. Those 2 moves incorporated. It's weird, but it got the job done. It definitely secured that victory for
Gustin made a good impact for his first match at OCCW. So who knows what's going to be next week. He gave him a spanking, by the way.
A spanking?
Yeah. A little weird thing about that.
After,
yeah, a legitimate spanking. When they cut the promo before the week, he said, I'm going to beat you so bad you're going to get a spanking. When I interviewed him, I was wondering what was up with that spanking, and he delivered on that spanking. So Voodoo Master is over here licking his wounds. I hope he can make a strong comeback. Maybe hit a 6 streak when he returns. But the next match to precede that,
we had Freddie Helmuth versus Rudy Rogers, former champion Rudy Rogers. What do you think of?
I've seen his picture on the Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I have a really,
or on Google
really
too.
Nice photo of Rudy in flight.
Yeah, I seen him and on Google Images. I don't know what I was looking at, but he had the belt.
Yeah,
a lot of pictures.
Yeah, Rudy Rogers was a champion for almost a year.
I think he had long hair then, right?
Yes, until the current champion Othello placed him at what was the pay-per-view? End of the World.
It was Cage Match 2.
Cage Match 2 is when it officially ended.
Yeah.
But it was a great match because it was a match of two friends that really gave it their all and really put in everything. Freddie Helmuth, that's my boy right there. He's just the intensity behind him every time. He's really willing to go 110% when he's delivering every blow. Rudy Rogers, of course, is a technical guy. He knows how to get out of these holds. And, them being good friends just makes it even harder to compete, because...
Yeah, they were part of their team, Divine Intervention. They kind of run...
Are they feuding, or is this just...
a match with bad blood behind it.
A match. Yeah,
the way it was, La Raza has always been able to overcome everything. Teams, they can be beat down and burned. But at the end of the day, they're going to secure that gold, ladies and gentlemen. And that's exactly what they did at House Rules last night. Freddie Flores made it a point to recognize those fists, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys have seen those fists put in work, he's one of the hardest hitting guys in the game.
Yeah, Freddie Flores, he's a fighter, former...
He's fighting Freddie Flores from Philadelphia, and he will split you in half. They give it their all. Last pay-per-view, it was supposed to be the same match, but Masters couldn't make it. He got jumped beforehand. Rudy Rogers had to place a substitute. The Suburban Justice could have been retaining this at this show, you know what I mean? But La Raza definitely always knows how to take care of each other, always got each other's back. And this isn't even the way they finish him, but look at that punch right there. Just put him to sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, all these photographs and videos, they will be uploaded later on this week. You can check them up on our Instagram at Bullyzone Wrestle. You can check them up on Facebook at Bullyzone. And our Twitter's coming back at DA Bullyzone. All videos will be posted on our YouTube page. That's going to be Da Bullyzone, ladies and gentlemen. With that being said, we're watching just how back and forth they could really get at OCCW, How do you think the talent looks so far? Not too sloppy. Looking pretty.
It's not. I'll say it's very fast paced. No rest holds. It's just constant action. So something that I think any wrestling fan would enjoy.
There you go. It's always good to have a perception from someone who's never seen the show.
Here's the finish of the match.
The grand climax. They just threw Rudy out of the ring, hit him with the cutter, super cutter, whatever you want.
Chair into a cutter.
They don't have a name for that or what?
I don't know.
They speak Spanish, so They're doing their own thing, and there you go again.
They might have a name for it, but they don't know how to say it.
Yeah, the guy took it good, though.
Yeah. What do we have next? We had...
Intermission right there. Now, probably one of the best matches of the night.
This guy's performed on SmackDown. He's been established as a person. We're talking about the Irish juggernaut, Mikey O'Shea. And he went 1-1 against the All-American Rude Boy #1, Azrael. He used to be best friends with that guy you saw earlier, that Freddie Helmuth character. So these guys also have a podcast together. That's every Tuesday, am I right?
Every Tuesday, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock?
8 o'clock.
9 o'clock here at the Free Admission channel. The Royal Ramble, check that out. They'll probably go over the show. Couple of... guys are my favorite guys to watch on the OCCW roster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Azrael, Mikey O'Shea.
Mikey O'Shea, yeah.
And to see them work together, it's awesome.
So they ran out of the ring. There's a moment where they ran out of the ring. They ran around the warehouse, and then they came back into the ring. Funniest hijinks ever. You know what I mean? You never know what's going to happen at OCCW. And just laying it into Mikey. Mikey's a big guy, but he's not very smart, I'll tell that to your face too, Mikey, But that's okay, because when he goes in the ring, he makes you look better. And you can just see that right there with the and drop of that DDT. Like, ladies and gentlemen, all these pick videos, they will be uploaded to our channel within the next week. Check them out on Instagram, Bullyzone Wrestle. That's YouTube at The Bullyzone. Facebook, it's that group Bullyzone. And Twitter's coming back at DA Bullyzone. There you go. Hit him with that. Show Mikey how it really feels. This is a good moment for your boy Azrael. And on that podcast, Azrael likes to piss off.
All right, let's get the show going. I think we're almost pushing the clock here.
We've been pushing the clock, baby. We're here for another 16 minutes. And after that led to the final match, ladies and gentlemen. The final match being Tony Reyes deserves that shot. And did this match go the way I wanted? No. No, it did not. But Tony Reyes gave him a hell of a fight.
I'm glad Tony Reyes lost. I'm all about Othello.
Oh, no. I can't get behind Othello knowing that he works with that snob, that dork Primrose. I can't.
What kind of bully are you? You're rooting against the bully to lose to the good guy?
He's not a good guy. Those are two heels going at it.
No, Tony Reyes, total baby face.
Do you see baby on any of Tony's face?
You see him high-fiving all the kids when he's coming out to the ring?
I high-five kids. No, I give them dollars. I fund the bullies because bullies are kids, ladies and gentlemen. Bullies. You fund the kids, they're going to turn into bullies. They're going to take care of me when I'm an old bully. They're going to be the bullies over here on the podcast. Our kids are the #1 priority for Bullyzone. And with that being said, let's check out some more footage of Othello putting hands all over Tony Reyes. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. He just never gave him a chance. It feels like everything he did, everything Tony Reyes tried to do was just instantly deflected. And it was impossible. I thought maybe, Reyes would give him a run for his money, but his professionalism did not quite add up. He gave him a run for his money for the first half, but like I said, I was excited for this match because I thought Reyes was going to pull something out. He ended up not pulling something out. It kind of felt like a slob match to me, but what can you do? It's house rules, baby, and it's Othello's house. He's the OCCW World Heavyweight Champion. And he made everybody know that. He kept asking, whose house is this? And everybody knows it's Othello's house.
Is it, or is it Tony's house? You got to make up your mind. You're going back and forth here.
No, I support fully Tony Reyes. The Midwest Mauler. Look at that. Samoan drop right there. Waiting for another drive-by. Would have been perfect. But that's just not how it worked. He even hit him with a Vader Bomb variation and nothing. And when you got a heavy hitter, one half of the heavy hitters dropping weight on you like that, I'd lose my breath, maybe for 3 seconds. You know what I mean? And that's what I thought about Othello. But Othello's got 7-foot-tall body. His lungs are just as big. He was able to not get winded and kick out on the 1 count. That's what threw me off.
So that was the end right there, right?
The end was
DQ.
Tony.
Yeah, I got that on another video.
Tony won by DQ.
It was, but Othello won the retention.
Chair shot.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is how it ended right here. He didn't have Michael Primrose by his side, so he didn't have his manager to help him win. So Othello took matters into his own hands. He was getting tired. He said, "I got to go to the gym. Let's end this real quick." Hit him with a chair shot and took him home. But
yeah, definitely. We'd love to have you come out to OCCW show.
You have the card yet for the next event, or
the card is not out yet? Okay. It should be out a week before the show.
All we know right now, Azrael, the guy who was fighting Mikey O'Shea, the former SmackDown participant, versus Freddie Helmet, the guy versus Rudy Rogers, in a Singapore cane match. Yeah, that's the only match lined up right now.
I like that.
Yeah, so that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be dope.
Yeah, I mean, if that's all we're going off of, it's already a good match. A Singapore cane match. Do you know what that involves? That's 2 men. These are 2 men from Divine Intervention, okay, ladies and gentlemen? 2 men who don't care about anything but violence and pain. How do you think they're going to feel when you have both of them swinging canes at each other? Fully legal. The ref's not going to stop him like at the last 2 shows. You saw Freddie Helmet at the last show swinging canes around like a madman. Imagine him being unruly. And with Azrael at the end, the same kind of unruly, I'd be surprised if it wasn't a double knockout.
Yeah, what kind of gimmick matches are you into?
I like ladder matches.
Ladder matches?
Ladder matches are cool.
So I'm sure you're excited for Money in the Bank then.
Yeah.
Money in the Bank is coming up.
I like it only because it was a great concept that Jericho came up with.
Yeah, he won't let people forget about that.
And I think because it's not done like all the time, like it's not like worn out, watered down. It's like something that you actually wait and look forward to. Because I'm kind of glad they got. I mean, I liked it when it was at Mania, because you knew you're going to get it just that one time all year. But now that they made it its own pay-per-view, you're getting kind of the same thing. You're just waiting one time all year for it, and then you're incorporating, women into it also. They're getting their Money in the Bank matches. So I think that the fact that they're making it a pay-per-view is just the importance of it. So even though it's like there's no title matches, maybe, well, there is in this one, but as far as the Universal title, this one is, to me, just as important.
Here's an idea I've always thought about Money in the Bank. With the money, well, it can still work with the women's Money in the Bank. As soon as they cash it in, say they just cash it in on a pay-per-view, or they cash it in on a SmackDown or a Raw, I would say the next pay-per-view, have another Money in the Bank ladder match. So there's always going to be a Money in the Bank ladder match. Because what happens if you cash it in, you got
to wait a whole another 11 months for another.
Yeah, you cash it in that same month.
I understand that.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing of, like, watering it down, though. It's like you're going to always have it. It doesn't make it.
You rather
it doesn't make it, like, special, because if you have it every pay-per-view.
No, not every pay-per-view. Just like
how?
Once they cash it in, like, say I'm Baron Corbin, I cash it in.
So if you cash it in, you lose it, you have another one? Or
yeah, like, not every month. Just like once it gets cashed in, then you have to have the next.
It's away from, like, the mysteriousness of it, I think. So I kind of like it once a year. I like the fact that, it can happen at any time to cash in. I just hope that we don't have another stupid scenario like Baron Corbin, where it was just a quick roll-up match and that was it, But I think that was all due to him fighting with fans online or on Twitter.
Yeah, he kind of just killed himself.
Yeah, he buried himself a little bit. But I heard Vince is still high on him, so
yeah, definitely.
So he'll probably be like a babyface in NXT, I think, before he grew his hair out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was it was like weird seeing him.
If you had a hairline like that, wouldn't you be mad at everyone?
I would just shut up. Yeah. Well.
All right, I just want to give a quick shout out to our friends at Just Joel Inc. Just Joel Inc. It's Just Joel.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I also want to give a shout out to Convicted Clothing. That's right, Convicted Clothing. They're clothing made by convicts. Super cool, super authentic. You can check them out online on our links. Well, anything, Mike, you want to plug? You unplug yourself. Let them know your usernames. Let them know what you do. Let them know a little bit about yourself. All you, baby.
I just have my Instagram, Lil Fortune.
Any parting words? Anything you wish to happens? Wish to happen in the next few months.
Thank you for having me on. It was fun.
Anytime, brother.
It was fun. Hopefully we get to do this again some other time.
I would love to see you at No Pity in Los Alamitos.
Price. This is Sunday at 1 o'clock is a perfect time. So
there you go.
June
24th, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you get your tickets. Get on with Bullyzone. We can get you some front row seats. I'm pulling some weight with John. So make sure you guys come on down. 24th, Los Alamitos, No Pity.
24th? Yeah, I know there's SmackDown or, Raw that day in Anaheim. Who cares?
Who cares? It's not live. It's going to be a house show.
CW. We're the place to be.
Orange County Championship